Hi, this is Dr. Saxena, and this is one of the series which we are trying to work it out, trying to empower the people with some kind of minimal knowledge. So, with the kind of common sense, they can always they go ahead and try to see how they can best. You need to face this pandemic, and I know just by trying to keep everything. There are some ways which you can always work it out, and today I'll be talking about how to reduce the initial dose of the virus. It's basically a simple thing, and by that you optimize your immune system. The kind of thing, the thing which comes from here is like the background of this particular stuff. I just want to tell you from where it's coming. I has in fact this is not this during this pandemic, but I have seen for some years one of my friend who used to keep because one of his daughter had asthma, and he used to keep all his 3 BHK flat and two kind of stuff in a totally closed mode. Closed mode, I mean to say, no windows were open at any point of time. No, only the door, main entrance gets open, and it's closed immediately. So what I have seen during when I was interacting with that guy, he was when we used to enter his home, we used to get suffocated. We used to tell, "Arey, why the fan is not being run, and why this is totally closed and all that." But somehow a kind of reserved person, he doesn't want to believe on what we used to tell. He open the windows and all that for some time, then let the fresh air come and all that. But somewhere nowadays I see everyone on that mode, trying to close all the doors, all the windows. Not even the moment the main door gets open, it's immediately shut. And this is happening in all the metros, trying to see that, and the people are always on that AC mode, and that ducts and all that. We are not sure what's happening with that. Even in the big kind of hospitals, we believe I understand what is we centralize AC and all that, but there are a lot of things. Even the ducts of the AC vents and all that, they also get some fungal problem. Is it this black fungus? Because of that also is quite possible. So there are some things which we need to understand. I thought, let me give you some kind of insight what I am trying to look into that. To begin with, COVID-19 can sometimes overwhelm young and old immune systems, and in some cases can result in that ARDS. The risk for the higher is higher for the older patients, and who had any serious underlying abnormality. This is a normal thing which we are trying to work with. So the thing is, the baseline is, as you age, the immune system deteriorates, which reduces the response to the adaptive immune system that needs to respond to this virus. So what I'm trying to put across is taken out from a work which was done by Dr. Siddharth Mukherjee, of a cancer physician from Columbia University. He, in a brilliant article, wrote how does the corona behave inside a patient, and we have counted the viral spread across peoples. Now we need to count it within the people. This was statement given. So according to him, namely, if you receive a very small dose of the virus, not too many virus particles, they will infect you. However, the body can activate its immune response to cope with the infection. So we see a lot of people who have not taken vaccine also, who has we in the last pandemic last year also, we were able to see what are the antibodies people have, and to our surprise, we picked up a lot of people having good antibodies to this SARS-CoV, IgG, IgM and all that. So from where they might have got, this must be the process, because this body can activate the immune response. The small less number of virus particles, they can infect you, and they can activate its immune response to cope up with the infection. So this low dose exposure is similar to the vaccination. On the other hand, if you are exposed to very high dose, then your body is overwhelmed with the infection and is unable to respond effectively. Think of a forest fire. The analogy is so simple. A small fire can easily be suppressed since there is enough time to upgrade the firefighting resources. However, during a firestorm and with multiple fires occurring at the same time, firefighting resources are overwhelmed and it's not enough to recruit outside firefighting resources. This is the, as Dr. Mukherjee points out, this dose exposure relationship with why illness severity has a long history. And for example, before vaccinations for childhood vaccines were available, a child who becomes infected at playground usually experienced a mild form of disease. However, child siblings who were infected at home develop a much more severe form of the disease. What does it mean as such? The child infected at the playground most likely received a very relatively small dose of virus over a short period of time. Virus concentration in the air is low when you compare with the whole kind of stuff. On the other hand, the siblings who were infected at home by their infected brother or sister received a high concentration of virus over an extended period of time, and you close your doors, your windows and all that. What happens is that this virus will be only rotating inside your home, and it is a kind of this one. So small volume and the number of viruses and all that, the concentration is quite high. So high virus concentration is more likely during winter and well insulated sealed houses where the air is recirculated without going through the still India doesn't have a lot of HEPA filters and UV filters to sterilize the air. We have to go a miles, we have to go a long way to get into all these stuffs. People are not aware. People are having their air conditions and all that, not aware about the HEPA filter. They are not aware about what is that PM 2.5 and all that. So when there is no fresh air to decrease or remove the virus concentration, the risk of severity of illness may be higher. This was in 2020 paper by Dr. Haid. So the risk of becoming sick with COVID-19 depends on whether you are exposed to coronavirus and the competency of your immune system. So you need to strengthen your immune system competence is inversely relation. The lower your immune system competence, the higher your risk, and the higher your coronavirus load, the higher the risk. So what do you do to reduce the corona load, which is dose of the virus exposure? Basically, we need to look at things as such, what the people have done before and all that. When we look at the kind of figures, there's the intervention to isolate people who had symptoms of COVID-19, which has got something like fever, dry cough, most likely will miss the asymptomatic carriers who may infect the community without awareness. Only if you are tested, if you have been exposed or recovered from the virus. To reduce the exposure to virus, there are three important things to avoid. One is closed spaces with poor ventilation. I repeat, closed spaces with poor ventilation. Avoid crowded places and avoid close contact, and do the following stuffs. We are always talking about social distancing, washing the hand, not to touching your face with with your hands and all that. So cleaning surfaces and all that. All of these things we are working on, and avoid the person's slipstream that may contain droplets of exhaled air. Ask the people who sometimes inadvertently they cough or sneeze, ask them to keep their hand on that particular thing before they sneeze, or they can always use that mask, or they can use a tissue or a kerchief, and with that you can always reduce that particular, because this particular stream which is being the moment you sneeze, there are a lot of droplets which goes in the mangrove kind of thing. And if you are still living in that closed space, I know this is going to cause a problem. See, the exhaled air that potentially contain the virus droplets could extend to more than 5 feet. I'm talking about the exhaled air. This is a simulation study done by Professor Bert Blocken, and it is this was reported. The plume of the exhaled air that potential could contain virus droplets could extend more than 5 feet. So it depends on the direction of the wind and where the person is walking or jogging and all that. The easiest thing what you can do is increase the fresh air to reduce the virus concentration. To reduce this virus concentration, increasing the fresh air circulation, you dilute you are diluting the virus concentration that may be shed by an infected asymptomatic or a sick person. So thus if you are exposed to the virus, you may receive a lower dose and increase the probability that you experience a milder version of the disease. What you need to do is, this is very simple. I think you want to increase the fresh air, you need to open the windows to arouse to see that your cross ventilation through the house or work setting happens. See, one of the major reasons why that flu season spikes in winter, because the people tend to congregate indoors to escape weather extremes. They ठंडी हो जाएगी, cold हो जाएगा. These are the things which are the big things. Lack of fresh air circulation inside the viral density and risk. I've seen people in drive cars also. They never open the windows, not even a single time. That causes also a problem. You need to have that. You need to have that exhaust fans to ventilate a building. You need to have a HEPA filter, which can always take care of some things. Avoid buildings which has got recycled air. These are all the things which we are trying to tell. Apart from that, we need to avoid long-term exposure to the air pollution. This is a kind of thing which we have been telling for years now. This is not a new logic and all that. A small increase in long-term exposure of PM 2.5 leads to large increase in the death rate of COVID-19 with a magnitude of about 20 times that's observed for PM 2.5. And so this study which was done, and as try to make things simple. Breathe only through your nose. Nose filters. No need to keep the nose filters and warm moisturizers and all that. It slows the airflow so that the air irritation is reduced. Nasal breathing also increases the nitric peroxide. We keep talking about what to do, this anulom vilom yoga. This is all that nasal breathing, and you need to during inspiration, the nose, the nitric oxide helps to dilate the airways in your lungs and blood vessels. This is very relevant for the COVID-19. Nitric oxide produced and released inside the nasal cavity and lining of the blood vessels act as a straight away it acts as an antiviral and secondary and it this is one of the big things what I somehow try to if you are a good you try to do some om or you try to sing a song so that your all this nitric oxide formation everything gets into a proper shape. This is one thing which always I think people should look into that. It is not just lockdown is not meant to just totally shut down your all the rooms and windows and all that. Sit down in that and see something comes into your thing. It should not be taken like that. And I can always tell you there are a lot of things which has to be worked out. This particular thing which I felt it needs to be told. Probably I think you need to understand this particular stuff, and I'm very sure if you dilute that particular thing, see that the fresh air circulation happens. Even if the virus is coming, this is going to come and not infect you in a big way. This is one thing which now we are seeing a lot of people who don't even go out and all that. They are having a particular thing. The thing is airborne. It is in the air. Try to use your common sense and try to work on how to improve your immune system and all that. Try to work on this. We have been always telling all these things. This is one thing which I was not telling for some time now. I thought it is very prudent, and people should look into that. Yes, we thought air conditioners also should be shut down during the last year, and this is what I used to tell my people who used to call me whether we should use this air conditioner or not. But I'm very sure you use the air conditioner with a HEPA filter and see that it's a recirculation proper happens, then only work it out. I'm not against any kind of stuff, but I believe that the common simple stuff has to be done in a proper way, and this is a simple way you can definitely create a change. You can always I somewhere I think you need to work out all these things, right? You need a proper Medicare, you need everything if you are gone into things and all that. But if you can follow this particular stuff, I'm sure your disease will be mild only. You will not get into major problems, and this is how we try to work it out. And this is my simple advice, and this should go to the lost of people, and the particularly people who are absolutely making themselves inaccessible and closing the doors and trying to sit in a Wi-Fi environment, working with the home and all that, not letting anything into that. And this has to be properly, people should know about this. Thank you.